Hi and welcome to the Art of Vital studio Friday night here in Las Vegas. It's a little bit chilly. I'm here in the process of creating, and part of the creation process I want to share with you. Part of it is the conceptualization. What am I trying to communicate? What am I trying to share? Fundamentally, I'm trying to evoke an emotion. I am trying to make some type of connection with the viewer. I'm basically doing the same on canvas and on board that I did as a Cirque du Soleil acrobat. Artists, we put in a part of our passion, a part of our soul. We reveal our thoughts, our experiences in a very vulnerable way. Sometimes we feel completely naked. Another thing you'll find about a lot of artists, we work in what's called a series where we'll do 5, 10, 15, maybe just 2 or 3 paintings in a similar genre. Either it's the same style, it's the same subject matter. For me, I'm basically in this series, I'm combining, I have predominantly 6 genres. I love to paint, my favorite probably moonscapes. I paint what I call pure abstracts, where I get completely wild and crazy and spontaneous and absolutely chaotic, insane. I have my romantic collection where I paint hearts and themes of love. What else do I paint? Minimalist. I love minimalist work, breaking life down to its fundamentals. I love to paint music, and then sometimes I just bring out Vital, the inner child, and I like to paint as if I was a 7-year-old child. In this series, the theme really is the color palette. I'm using predominantly a type of sage green. I went to Lowe's. I buy my paint at Lowe's. This paint is a little bit too bubblegum green for me, a little bit too mint green for me. So I wanted to make it a little bit more muted, a little bit more earthy, because I think earth colors, muted colors are more a reflection of life, in the sense that life gets messy, it gets muddy. So I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but I added some black and some gray to tone it down, but the color is still there. I paint multiple pieces at the same time. This one is still kind of drying. It's a moonscape using the sage green again, not finished. This one I've just basically laid down the foundation. It's an abstract piece again. This is a minimalist piece. Here in the background, just literally just laid down the background. This one I'm still working on. The sage green for me, growing up in England, there's nothing more than the countryside, cottages and stone walls and old houses that have been there for hundreds of years. I love that old weathered texture. For me, that weatheredness is a beautiful metaphor for life. This piece that I'm painting, I've added some old elements that I'm bringing back. Literally went to the hardware store, got some nuts and bolts, added some nuts and bolts. This piece, the narrative behind it, the colors subliminally suggest combat. Slightly military, but I don't want it to be military, but I want a suggestion of raw, rugged, and industrial vibe. And here in the middle, I'm going to add some type of inspirational quote. And by the way, this is interesting. A lot of people ask me, how do you combine being an artist and being a motivational speaker, which is usually for corporations, very logical. Ultimately, the expression comes from the same place. Connection and inspiration, expression, all comes together. So again, this piece is a metaphor for life, and I'm a bit of a romantic. When I mean romantic, it's not just about the hearts. Romantic in the sense that you'll find most of my work, whether it is musicality, whether it's moonscapes, whether it's pure abstracts, there's always this juxtaposition, dichotomy of light and dark. Why do I do that? A couple of reasons. One, it's kind of the yin-yang, but one of my most inspirational words is the element of hope. And I've gone through dark times, but I've always had that belief of looking into the light and going towards the light and overcoming whatever is preventing me right now from feeling good about myself, feeling good about life. And I always focus on the positive and the optimism. And there are days that I fail, by the way. But romanticism is a very powerful thing. There's a great book, by the way, called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by an author called Robert Pirsig. And he uses a motorbike, cross-country motorbike journey as the metaphor. There are two types of thinkers in the world, according to Robert Pirsig. You've got the classical thinkers who ride the motorbike purely for the logic, the mechanics, how the oil goes through the combustion and turns into power and the wheels spin and the forces of physics and propels you down the street. That's the classical thinker. It's all about logic. I'm the romantic thinker. The romantic thinker rides the bike for the feeling of freedom, for the wind blowing in your hair, feeling all those senses being stimulated. That's me, the romantic. So you're a classical thinker or you're a romantic thinker. So now that you have that broken down, I am a romantic thinker, yet a lot of logic goes into my work, a lot of conceptualization before the process. So there you have it. Friday night in the Art of Vital studio. Peace out.